Hi everyone, a waterfall blessings to you. Thank you so much for being here with me. My name is Bianca, and I'm bringing to you a tarot reading today that is friendship, relationship themed. I felt a need to do this because I feel that there's a lot of you out there who have a very generous heart. You are that person who remembers birthdays, check-in, the person who checks in, who keeps your promises, and you show up for people who need you when they need you. The problem is that often you find yourself waiting for others to do the same, and instead of that happening, your so-called friends cancel plans, they make promises they never keep. And I think that a lot of times too they become consumed about their romantic relationships. They leave you wondering why your friendships don't seem to matter so much to them when they matter so much to you. So if you ever truly felt that you can't count on people, this reading here is going to explore why this pattern may be appearing in your life and how you can begin attracting more balance, more dependable connections. So I already drew some cards, and these were the cards that made me think of this reading. And then we're going to draw more along the way with the Witch's Garden Tarot, which I'm going to link in the description of my video, along with my contact information if you wanted to develop this theme a little bit more and do a personal reading. I have something for all budgets. But at this time, let's move on. We have here Six of Cups reversed, which is a card about give and take. So if it's in a reverse position, we can already gather here that you're not wrong about how you feel. The question is here, are your expectations serving you right? Okay. So your expectations about friendship and even relationships here, perhaps you're holding on to like an idealized vision of what friendship should look like. So you have these cups here that should be all full and in the altar, and you are worshiping whatever you decided to put on this altar here. But this card is reversed, so it's like all the love and loyalty that you give, it won't necessarily be returned in equal measure. And this card also suggests that you constantly attracting people that, people that just don't feel the same way. And there's something about maintaining connections here that they have outlived their purpose. So maybe you meet somebody, at a special event and you feel like you guys clicked, you had a great time together, you exchanged phone numbers, you write to that person, they never write back. Even though they said they want to see you again, they want to, to do things again. And I can see how that is so disappointing. And so it's like you almost feel emotionally disconnected from people who you shared history with. Does that make sense? So how is it that we can fix all this? And the Temperance is the clarifier here. So the Temperance is telling me that it's you need to pay attention. Your heart is not the problem here, okay? It's not. It's not you. In a sense that your generosity is a gift. It's the talent that you have, and not everybody has that. It's hard to accept that the world is the way it is, but you need to balance your generosity here. Maybe you're over investing emotionally before people have earned that level of trust. Does that make sense? So little by little, it's like slow down, let them reciprocate, and let things develop naturally. So if you're like really craving new relationships here and new connections, that's fine. But because I see the 4 wands here, and 4 wands talks about victory. So it's important because this isn't like our first row here, and it's a stable card. So it tells me that the problem isn't that you're destined to be alone or you're surrounded by reliable people forever. It's just the problem is that you're trying to build a Four of Wands, this victory, with people who aren't capable of offering one. And this is so confusing, and I totally understand. Listen, the Knight of Wands here is here. The Knight of Wands, it's that knight that comes in with full of energy, full of promises, full of charisma. So you're attracted by this kind of people. It's like, it makes it seem easier for you. It's like you can take a deep breath, like, because you're always giving so much. And when these people say, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, I'm going to pick you up, I'm going to call you, I'm going to introduce you to this person, it's like you can relax for a moment. So it seems like they are sincere in the moment, but then they're just not consistent. Like, they mean what they say when they make these plans, but then they get distracted by the next person, the next adventure, or maybe they get, they see a new person to hook up with, to be involved with, and then all these other priorities, whatever they are, like even if they have to go to the gym instead of calling you, that's a priority. Or it's like, even if they have to go grocery shopping, everything else is forgotten. It's just like people that are kind of elusive in a way. They're like, they don't follow through. It's not always out of malice, but it's just consistency is not their strength. And I cannot, it's, these type of people here drive me crazy because I'm a reliable person. When I say I'm going to do something, I do it. So, and for some reason in my life too, I'm very drawn to this kind of person here. And they show in my life personally, they show up a lot in like as air signs. And it's gotten to a point for me that I say, oh, air signs are not just worth my time. But no, I got to that. And then, but, I like them so much for so many things. Aquarius, Gemini, Libra, and they're in my life, like, as friends, as family, as relationships, they've been in my life. So it's like, and I have a little bit of my natal chart, but not so much. And maybe that's what explains the disconnection there. But I think that when you're that kind of person here, just live the moment. Enjoy that specific moment. Have the most fun you can have. Connect this, and then just don't expect anything. Because the death reverse here is telling you that you're holding on. You just don't. It's easier for you to just blame it on somebody else or life, or and you just keep on investing on these one-sided relationships, and you find it difficult to stop investing them. And let's look a little bit more as to why here. But I want you to understand the nature of this card. So the death reverse, it asks, like, what are you afraid to let end? Is it your unrealistic expectations that took so long for you to like form this story in your head? Or like maybe long-standing friendships that just, they no longer nourish you. It's like these people they're in a different place now, and you're holding on to history. So history is so important in so many ways, but sometimes you have to learn from it and then move on. Even if it's like history is so beautiful and so captivating, you have to place a bet on what comes next. Does that make sense? Even if it's not as attractive. So this feeling that you have that if you maybe just give a little bit more, people will reciprocate, that's not true. It's just not going to happen. That's what Tarot's saying here. And I have this Nine of Cups reverse, which is, Nine of Cups is usually a card of happiness, like achieving what you want. So if it's reversed, it points again to unmet expectations. So the disappointment here comes from like believing I'll give enough love, I'll give enough loyalty, and I'll receive it back. So this is what we're seeing here. This is the pattern. So maybe you need to, maybe this is an invitation for you to define happiness in your own terms instead of waiting for others to make you feel valued. It's like when you achieve a milestone and, you know, people don't, oh, they say, oh, good for you. And then just walk on. And it's the most frustrating thing in the world. But it is what it is, you know. So you just can't expect that from people when they can't give it to you. That's what I'm seeing here for you. So let's move on and look a little bit more. I wish, you know, maybe we could do a live next time so you can ask me questions as I'm doing this. There's some cards that turned here already. Let's get rid of these. But is that ringing a bell for you? Because I see this more and more in people's lives. And I see more and more people just investing in romance. You know, they go ahead and get married so they have company, and because they're tired of the flakiness of people. And it shouldn't be that way, you know. It really shouldn't be that way. You should be able to have both, I think. So, let's see what compliments are reading here. Let's draw some cards. I hope your heart is open. I invite you to take a deep breath, connect with spirit here, and I think that this is going to bring answers to you and, you know, solutions you haven't been able to devise yourself. That's what we're here for. I know that I sympathize and empathize with you. Again, I see that you have a heart where you can fit everybody. Unfortunately, sometimes you can't do that. Okay, so 6. Okay, we have 6 of discs reversed. And we have 4 of discs upright. And I have a 3 of Pentacles, which is a card that talks about teamwork. Yes, okay, so the message here is clear to me. It's just, you know, you're going to have, oops, excuse me. The 6 of Pentacles is a card of generosity. It's a card of distributing what you have. Do you see that? It's reversed here. So yes, you're going to have to be a little more selective, my friend. You're going to have to, you have a beautiful soul. If you could, you would just share everything you have. The 4 of Pentacles is the card of holding on. See how this male figure here is holding on to his pentacle? You're going to have to do that, even though what you're really looking for is teamwork. And I invite you to use that energy to, you know, selected few people who reciprocate, and use that energy of giving and put it into your new projects, in your work, and something you like to do. Because that's going to invite different kinds of people in your life, new people into your life. So your work, even if it's in the digital world, look where I am. And, you know, I get messages all the time from people saying beautiful things and sharing their story. And that fills my heart with joy. Even if they're not physically present, their energy surrounds me, even for a little while, and I'm very happy. The 10 of Swords is here. So does that mean I'm going to hurt forever? No, it means that this is the end of the cycle. If you do this, what the tarot is telling you, if higher spirits is telling you to do here, this pain, this anguish will go away. You have to adapt to the world around you. So either you choose to value yourself, to be best friends with yourself, to take yourself out, to make plans with yourself, regardless of who shows up. Now, follow through what you promised yourself. Then this pain will be over. All this loss will be over with this 5 of Pentacles here. Oof. You know, all this pain, all this heartbreak that you've been going through. You're like mourning old friendships, present relationships. You've been betrayed, you've been used. The 7 of Wands here saying that Look how beautiful this card is. You rising above all this and keeping an open heart to new, real things. That's what the tarot is telling you. And this, I hope this rings true. And please watch this video as many times as you'd like to get the transcript and, you know, put it up on your fridge. Or I really want you to monitor your actions starting today, because I don't want you to hurt anymore. Spirit doesn't want you to hurt anymore. Okay, my loves. So a waterfall blessings to you. Thank you so much for being here. I hope this helps you. And I'll see you next time. Thank you.